Kyllan Maney is a high school art instructor at New School for the Arts in Tempe, Arizona. She earned a bachelor's degree in fine arts with a specialization in painting from Arizona State University. Kyllan highly values art education and its importance to our youth. She teaches everything from mixed media painting, drawing, murals, portfolio building, and serves as the head of the arts department on campus. Kyllan has shown her work in various public spaces like the Mesa City Library, the Tempe Post Office, and currently has a showing at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix. Her well-known style may also be recognized through her murals in downtown Phoenix, Tempe, and Scottsdale. Her pieces often focus on repetition and nature. We appreciate Mrs. Maney's dedication to our future creators of the world.
All right, today we are interviewing Kyllan Maney, who's been showing at the gallery and working with us for years. She is awesome. She's an art teacher at New School for the Arts in Tempe. And yeah, Kyllan, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Hi, welcome everyone.
So my first question really is, how did you come to meet Craig, and how did your participation in the gallery really start?
Oh boy, I met Craig so many years ago, probably when the gallery first opened. A lot of the people I loved as artists were starting to show at Art One, so I had to go check it out. And I just loved Art One so much. And then I finally got up the courage. I was young, and I got up the courage to bring in pictures of my work. And Craig hung them, and I sold one of my very first pieces out of college at Art One, so that was really cool. And then I was showing there for a while, and then the school got involved with Art One. Craig had called, or someone had called and said, "Oh, do you have artwork for us to hang?" And I think this was about the time you guys had a Tempe location right down the street from school, and so we got the school involved, and there was a one night a month that was a exhibition night for the students. And so we've done so many different things with Art One. Just, myself as an artist, I've sold work there for years, and I absolutely love you guys to death. And as the school as well, everything from allowing our students to come and play music in the gallery and have shows, to be able to show the students' work and sell it. And a few of our students really have sold a lot of work with you guys and have moved on to have super viable careers. One of our artists from the school, Jamie Limperly, he just did a video for Louis Vuitton. So I'm like, oh. Ben Medetsky, he also showed at Art One. He's in the ceramics world, he's doing, commissions for, huge houses. And it's just so impressive to see where our students go, showing here locally and then kind of going out into the world and then showing, more on a national level, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is awesome to see kind of where some artists end up. Some do it as a little bit of a hobby and don't go anywhere, but some really do take it to the fullest extent. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Okay, so let's move into a little bit more of your art. Who are some of your artistic influences? Would you consider your art more new age, or is it more traditional? Kind of how would you describe your work again, and who are some of your influences?
I really consider my work to be contemporary. I love abstract art. It's all, my very first favorite artist is Georgia O'Keeffe. And when I went to college, I wanted to paint big, huge oil paintings of flowers. And that actually was very much my work was, I think the first piece I sold at Art One, it was a 6 foot by 6 foot painting of kind of a floral oil, had lots of blending in it. And so it had this surrealist twist. So I kind of went from there, and along my journey, now I do a lot of more color field. I do these drawings that are behind me on maps, and a lot of radial patterns. So in essence, in some ways, it's still floral, but just a different type of floral. Yeah. So it's interesting to kind of see how kind of how it's changed over the years. I love to do large scale art. I said my first painted art one was 6 feet by 6 feet because I've always wanted to paint murals. And so I always paint paintings, always keeping that kind of, well, maybe someday this will be a mural in the back of my mind. So yeah, but I think, and it's been great showing with you guys because sometimes galleries like kind of like, oh, well, that's a little different from your work before. But you guys are like, great, we love it. You take it, sell it. It's really awesome. I love you guys for supporting me through all of my growth as an artist.
Of course. So, how did you start, creating large scale murals? I see them all over Phoenix. I see them in Tempe. I notice your work always, obviously, because I've known you forever and we've shown you here. But how did you get into that world of doing large scale murals and public art and things like that?
Yeah, I always wanted to do this ever since college. That was like my goal. So I painted these large scale paintings and I would try to convince people like, let me paint a mural on your wall. And people would come back to me and go, oh no, we don't. That's something for like people in poorer areas. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I still don't even understand the theory. So it wasn't until it was about 10 years ago, I was doing some chalk drawings, large scale chalk drawings with another artist at Mesa Art Center. And we did a number of projects with them. And then they were opening a garden in a vacant lot. And they were like, well, we need 2 mural artists to start out this whole, like all these walls that are going to have murals in the future. And so the other artists and I, we worked together and we created design and we made that first mural. And that really just opened the doors because that's when people started to see like, Roosevelt Row started to get started and Grand Avenue and all those murals were kind of popping up. A lot of those artists did those murals for free in the beginning just because they wanted to paint murals. And so then it was interesting because that happened and then all of a sudden people got attracted to the area. And when people got attracted to the area, businesses got attracted to the area. And then everything's kind of grown up since then. So now murals are definitely regarded as something very different. They're seen as something that's beautiful and that can bring people into a vibrant city and want you to stay and get your picture taken somewhere. And, so it's great how just our public personas changed. And it's great because I get to paint them.
Right.
And I have to fill my studio full of 6 foot by 8 foot canvases. I can just paint them on walls.
I'm sure it's very fun.
Right, it is.
So how would you describe the current local art scene and the culture and kind of where it's headed? You've kind of seen it get to the point where it is now. Where do you kind of see it going moving forward?
When I got out of college, it was a while ago, and as a woman artist, it was really hard for me to get into galleries, and it was hard to just get that door open. And so, well, thanks to you guys, I was able to get in a gallery, but it was really hard. And so I find that now over the years, I see more and more women and, people of all types coming into the art world, which is amazing because everyone has their own voice and they all have something different to say. I also feel like on a national scale, I feel like Phoenix has really been a hot spot and is becoming more and more of a hot spot. I was in Los Angeles a few years ago and I was at a bookstore and I was just buying a map for something. And so the girl who was, she was ringing up my book. She said, well, where are you from? And I was like, I'm from Phoenix. And she goes, oh my gosh, you guys are doing so much amazing art stuff. And I was like, woo, that's really cool to hear. So I just think that, I definitely think before Phoenix was not, when I graduated from college, I didn't feel like Phoenix was on the map in the art world, but I do feel like Phoenix is becoming more and more of a place for people to look for art. And I do feel like the internet, Instagram, web, all of our websites, those types of things, I think that's even increasing the visibility of what we have to offer here in Phoenix, which is amazing. And I do see it just growing more and more and more, especially since, we have, Phoenix is booming. We have, all these big buildings coming in, those types of things. Those places need art. This is a place for artists to make more artwork so more people can see us.
Exactly. Great point. Okay, so how do you get inspired to create on your own free time outside of the classroom, because you teach art all day? So how do you go from teaching art all day and then going and doing these big public installations and doing it as a hobby? How does that work for you?
I'm a teacher because I'm an artist. So the art, that's the thing that drives everything. Like if I don't do art, like I get really buggy, like it's not good. So I have to, when I feel a little anxious or I feel like, a little depressed, I just start making art and I instantly feel better. So, and I just think that since I've had the drive to always work large scale, that's just like a major priority in my life. So, my evenings, weekends, like a lot of the time I'm working and a lot of time I'm dragging my family. My husband helps me when I do installations. He's always there. He's there with the drill and, stuff, and my daughter as well, they're just an integrated part of all of this. And, for the most part, they're happy. Sometimes when it gets really busy, they're like, oh boy. But they understand, which is good. I have a good support system.
That's always very important, and I'm sure encouraging for you.
Yes.
Why is art education so important in today's world, especially?
Yeah, I feel, we have a lot of students that go on to be artists, but we also have students that just pick other careers in life, and it's interesting because I ran into a student right before the pandemic, and she was getting her degree at ASU in social work. And so her kind of degree and what she wanted to do was she wanted to be a person to mitigate conflict issues with older people, maybe like in nursing homes and those types of things, and have those difficult conversations and help them kind of come to a truce and kind of figure things out and kind of find their middle ground so everyone can get along. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And she goes, where I learned to have my independent voice and to stand up for myself is because I went to school at NSAA. So even though she wasn't an artist, like she knows that how important, like who she is, she has a solid foundation. And I think that the arts does provide that. I also think that it's important for people, even if you're not going to be an artist, to take art classes is because mental health issues, like if you're, having issues of feeling down or depressed or whatever, just doing a little art project can always just raise your spirits. But also, I think that for people who are scientists and mathematicians, I think art's very important for those people, especially right now, because we need creative problem solvers. We need people who can think outside the box. We're in this global pandemic. Like, we need people to be able to find a vaccine, to find cures, so people don't die, to find medicine so people don't die. Like, obviously, this is nothing we've ever encountered before. So we need those people to come in and look at this in a whole different way, because obviously all the things that we've had in our tool bag some of it's working, some of it's not. But we need to see, we need those creative thinkers to see all of this and kind of solve those problems. And that's going to come up more and more in our future. And if you just kind of have everything like on a chart sheet and like problem solve on a graph, like that's not where the solutions of our future are. our solutions, our future are very different than that.
Yes, great answer.
Did I answer your question?
That was a great answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so teaching right now, I'm sure has been very difficult for you. Are you teaching virtually right now? Are you guys back to in-person classes? And then also, what does that look like? Are you, how does a day in the life of online teaching work?
Right. So our school, we do have in-person options at school, but teachers are teaching virtually. So we are teaching from our homes, and we all have our own studio areas in our homes. So it's, it's the students, we did this for fourth quarter when this all when spring break, the end of spring break, we didn't go back to school. We went directly online. We did a Zoom platform with Google Classroom, and it worked. I mean, it was hard because the students, like, their motivation, the carpet was just ripped up underneath their feet, So, I get all emotional about it because it was really hard for us. And so, even though we did this, we did Zoom, we did the Google Classroom, like, our students, because they had that experience with the end of last school year, when we moved into this new school year, the students seemed to be on board. They were like, okay, we've done this, we've got this. And I see that, even though they felt bad last year, a lot of them prefer it. Like, we just did an online honors class, and it was all day. We had a guest artist, Pepe Solomon, and I really got to talk to the students, and a lot of them were like, I feel safe in my home. I'm enjoying making my artwork at home, and they don't want to be out there. They don't want to wear masks. They don't want to have to be socially distant. They're for the situation, they feel like it's the best place for them. So it really, because I carry a lot of guilt about it. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad. You're okay. I also have it at my house because I have a teenager. So I'm not seeing it just from, I get emotional because I see it from my own child's point of view as well. And she's an art student as well. So, but I've seen that, she's reached out to her friends. They do online games. They've figured out, like, a way to socialize and a way to connect with each other. And I think that that's what our students have done. We have lots of clubs and things to do on the side, and dress up days, and sharing your dog and your cat. We try to make it as fun as possible, but also to do the work. I find that the students are learning a little bit more in depth because they don't, I love the social aspect of the classroom, but because they're so focused on creating the artwork when we're here, that they are getting a deeper knowledge of their materials and what they're doing with their art. Yeah. That was a really long answer.
No, great answer again. It's awesome. Thank you. Okay, I think we've pretty much answered the majority of the questions. I guess, kind of the last question I'll ask, and really, I think you've kind of touched on it, but what is your favorite part of being an artist and what you do as an art teacher?
My favorite part of being an artist is I get to make art, and I get to, like, surround. I always say my favorite material is the one in my hand. I can never choose, but I love making art. It kind of settles my soul. I love looking at it. I love being a part of it. I see being an artist, like, teaching is just integrated into being an artist. I was a full-time artist, and I just drove myself batty just being home alone by myself all the time. So the teaching part is, even though I'm sharing with my students my knowledge about art, but at the same time, they share their insights because they come, at all of these ideas from a fresh point of view. And they're always looking at the hippest, coolest artists. So I feel like I'm learning so much from them as well. So I'm grateful for that experience to kind of have that interchange of being an artist and an educator at the same time.
That is awesome. Yeah, we kind of get that here too, even working in the gallery, because we don't we're kind of blindsided a little bit by, the artists we show in here and the community we work with. So we don't really see a lot of the outside artists and things. And I think that's the joy of having the gallery, is seeing all these different perspectives come together. And it's just been really great to work with you and your school throughout all these years. And we hope to continue to do that moving forward.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Awesome. Well, we love you guys, all of our faculty, all of our students. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Kyllan, for sitting down and talking with us today, and keep up the amazing work. You're a great teacher.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyllan. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.